What's up, everybody? It's KelseeBrianaJai here with a review on two brand new Becca products. The first one I have to talk about is Becca's Soft Light Blurring Powder, and it is in the color Golden Hour. And the second one is the First Light Priming Filter Instant Complexion Refresh Primer. That's a lot to say. In this video, I'm going to review these products as well as demo the products so you guys can make up your own mind whether or not you want to pick up these things and see if they'll work in your everyday makeup routine. So let's just jump right into it. Starting out with the primer, this is the box that it comes in, very shiny. I see Becca use this packaging a lot, but then I also see Becca using this packaging. So I don't know what's up with the different packaging and why they have totally different packaging for different products, but hey, that's their prerogative. So on the back of the package, it has a message. It says, your instant fix for a bad face day. Introducing your new pick-me-up, a lustrous lavender hues priming filter powered by luminescence that preps, perks, and perfects the complexion. In a snap, transform your complexion and create the perfect refreshed canvas for a pure, healthy glow. Fix the 5 signs of a bad face day: fatigue, dullness, dehydration, puffiness, and fine lines. And some of the key ingredients in this primer are prickly pear flower, which quenches and revives your skin; sodium hyaluronate, which hydrates and plumps your skin; crystal technology and spring water, which create a pure, healthy glow; and lastly, blue flamenco, which cool, light, smooths, and even skin tones. So you can either use this alone or you can wear underneath your foundation as your primer. So a little bit of truth right now, I don't have the primer all over my face. I just have it on one side. I don't know if you guys can tell which side I have it on. If you can, you're better than me, because I can't really see where the difference is between where I applied it and where I didn't. So this is what the primer looks like. It's in the same packaging as Becca's other primers. It has the frosted bottle, and then the top has Becca's traditional like chocolatey brown. On the top it says Becca going around in like a little stamp. A lot of people say this looks like a UFO. That's Becca's design. This has 1 fluid ounce of product, which is a lot of products for primer, because unlike foundation, you're not going to be putting a lot of primer on your face. The more primer you put, the more it actually works against what it's supposed to do. So you don't use nearly as much primer as you do foundation. This retails for $38. I picked this up from Sephora. In the bottle, this looks straight up violet. It's not that violet on the skin. Once you apply it on your skin, it's very sheer, but it is going to give you a little bit of a glow. And a lot of people may be familiar with different products like this. When I first saw it, it really put me in the mindset of the MAC Strobe Cream, the original one, because I use that product for this purpose. But this one, the texture is very, very thin, so it's not going to feel thick on the skin, and you're really not going to notice it after a while. Now, the smell of this is very, very peculiar. The best way for me to describe it is Fruit Loops. So if you guys have ever eaten Fruit Loops, yes, the cereal, then this is exactly what this product smells like. That may bother some people, it may not bother some people. You guys know, if you watch my channel, I'm a smell person, so any smell is going to be a factor for me. But I just want to note that it does linger for a while. Like, I can actually still smell remnants of the fragrance on my face, which I hope that that's not something that's going to break me out. This primer is only designed to make your skin look more radiant. So this may not be a primer that you just want to use by itself. You can actually use different primers in different areas of your face. I don't know if you guys have ever thought about that, but like, this primer doesn't control oil. It doesn't smooth out pores. It just promises to make your skin look more revitalized. If you're a person who needs your pores to be filled in, or you have crazy oily skin, you need some type of oil control, skip this primer. It is not going to do this. But if you're a person who has really been affected by the winter and your skin looks really dull, it looks really chapped, it looks cracky, it just doesn't have any life to it, this may be something that you're interested in. Now, on my complexion, I don't really feel like I said, I don't really feel like I can see where it did that big of a difference. When I put my foundation on top, I felt like it just canceled it out, because the foundation that I put on is like a medium to full coverage foundation. As soon as I put it on, I couldn't really see the benefit of the primer anymore. You'll see in the demo what I mean in a second, but I'm gonna go ahead and move on and talk about the powder. So here's the powder. I showed you guys this in my latest haul video. The packaging of this powder is absolutely stunning. Like, this is quite frankly the most beautiful packaging that I've ever seen come from Becca. So this also retails for $38, and there is 0.35 ounces of products, or 10 grams. This powder has significantly less powder than the Laura Mercier translucent powder, and they're about the same price, 40 bucks. In the Laura Mercier powder, there's 28 grams of product, or 1 ounce. So you're not getting a lot of products in this at all. So this powder is very, very finely milled. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you what it says on the back of the package. So, a real life wearable beauty filter. This soft, loose setting powder graces skin with subtle luminosity, blurs imperfection, and eliminates shine. This unique plush microfine texture creates a flattering veil that does not cake or settle into fine lines and pores. Ceramic microspheres scatter light to create a delicate velvety finish that smooths, evens, and perfects the complexion. Soft light blurring powder sets makeup and prolongs wear, flattering on all ages, skin tones, and skin types. A soft whisper of light adds dimensionality to the complexion, creating the ultimate dream filter. And they also say to use their kabuki brush to evenly distribute the powder for a perfected complexion. I did not purchase the kabuki brush. I just used the brush that I had here, but I feel like it was sufficient. So I really, really liked it. On one side of my face, I set my makeup with the powder, and on the other side of my face, I used it as a finishing powder. Now, if you're not familiar with what a finishing powder is basically after you've put on like your makeup like you normally would, you go over it with a little bit of a powder that is very luminous like this one to really soften it up and create a finished look. Hence the name finishing powder. Not a lot of people use finishing powders anymore, but it's very nice to have one in your collection if you want to do that. This powder is really nice. Now I want to go ahead and just throw this out here. This powder, the name of this powder is the Golden Hour, and I think that on women of color, this is going to be absolutely stunning. On our fair friends, meaning people who are like NC 30 and lighter, you may not like this powder because it's a little bit darker. It's not a translucent powder. We are so used to seeing like very translucent powders or powders like this that are pink, and women of color really can't wear them. So for them to come out with this peachy yellowish powder really gave women of color the chance to be able to wear a finishing powder that's not going to totally lighten up our foundation. Fair complexions, you may not like it because it might be too dark and it might tint your makeup, and that's not really what you want. This powder is so soft. It's so finely milled. I really like the golden hue that it gives. It's very beautiful on the skin. I have it all over my skin right now, and I definitely love it. This powder does make a lot of different claims. It says that it blurs. I noticed a little bit of blurring. I don't see where it's like, because like sometimes I use certain products on my skin and I can immediately see where it has blurred. I don't really feel like that with this product. I do see a subtle hint of a blur, but I think it gives more of a glow than anything just because of the goldenness to it. Also, for those of you guys who are thinking about baking with this powder, I don't necessarily think I would like this for that purpose either, because like I said, it's not a setting powder, and the purpose of baking is to set your concealer and also give it a little bit of brightness. I would just set or bake my concealer with the regular powder that you do, and then go over this to maybe dust off the baking powder, and that'll give you a little bit of the luminosity, but it will set it, because this powder is not going to set your makeup. It's just not. So in comparison to the Laura Mercier translucent powder, which is my holy grail powder, it doesn't compare because they're two different products. So that's the easiest way for me to put it. This powder is a heavier powder, so it's going to set your makeup, which means that you're not going to get oily. I feel like with this powder, if you just wear it by itself, you are going to get oily. And even though it says that it has oil controlling properties, I don't feel like my makeup is as locked in as I do with my Laura Mercier powder. So if you need a powder to glow, if you want something to finish your makeup, I 100% recommend recommend it. They do have this at all Sephora's now, so I would get a sample of it to try it if you're not ready to commit. But I definitely love the powder. It's a phenomenal product, and it is, I feel like it's the answer to many women of color's issue with not having finishing powder, if that's something that you want. So I am going to go ahead and jump into the actual demonstration so you guys can see like what I actually have on my face, because I know a lot of you guys are just sitting here like, what is on your face? So enjoy, leave me a comment, and make sure you subscribe to see more videos like this from me. So I'm going to put the primer on one side of my face and not on the other side of my face, and see what I think. Use under foundation or alone in the T-zone or all over the face. So I'm just going to start off by putting this on my T-zone. So I'm gonna shake it up. This is how much one pump pumps out. Okay, so I'm just gonna put it on the right side of my face. Okay, it's very lightweight. I'll put it like here. Okay, I ended up just putting it everywhere, didn't I? On this side, I have on the primer, and it does illuminate. I do feel like my skin on this side looks a bit more energized, if you will. It has like a little bit more of a glow to it, and this side is just more mattified. I just have on my moisturizer. I've had this on for like 2 minutes at this point, and the scent is still lingering, so I don't know when it will disappear. So what I'm going to do now is apply my foundation all over my face, and let's see if the primer really makes a difference underneath foundation. And I'm using my Urban Decay All Nighter foundation, which is very, very matte. So I have on the foundation, and to me the difference is very subtle. This side does appear a touch more radiant. Definitely can see where I applied some of the primer and where it did lift up the foundation, but I don't know if it makes that big of a difference for me to want to be like, oh my god, I absolutely need to put this primer on. Here's a look at the foundation on top of the primer and nothing else. But you tell me what you think down in the comment section. It may be translating totally different on camera than it is in real life. I have on the concealer that I typically wear, which is my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. So on this side, I'm going to do my traditional routine of setting that with my Laura Mercier powder. And then on this side, I want to try the new Becca powder to see how it looks to set my concealer. Dip my brush in, and I'm going to see what this looks. Okay. On this side, I do want to go ahead and set it with my typical powder. You guys know what my foundation looks like on a regular basis, with my foundation, Laura Mercier powder, and my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. But I do want to add the Becca powder on top to see what it looks like. On this side, I just want to see what the powder looks like all over the skin. So let's just see. So far, this is what my skin looks like with just the Becca powder underneath my eyes, Laura Mercier powder, and then I have the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish set all over this. I have my Tom Ford 05 bronzer brush, but this is like the bomb for powder too. Ooh, this is super radiant. It put some on this side. By itself, girl, that is too much. This is not meant to be used by itself. It's like, thank you for being a friend golden girl. So this is what it looks like with the primer, foundation, and the powder set underneath my eye and also buffed on my skin. And on this side, I have no primer, my foundation, Laura Mercier powder to set underneath my eyes, my regular powder, and then this one over top to kind of soften everything. And this is what we have. So I'm going to finish up the rest of my face and apply a little bit of like bronzer and all that good stuff, and I'll be right back. My final thoughts on these products are, I don't think that this made that big of a difference on my skin. Yes, my skin does look a little bit more hydrated, but it definitely puts me in the mind frame of my MAC strobe cream, and I think I'm good on that. Like, it's not that big of a difference from one side to the next. I actually think on a dark complexion this may turn a bit ashy because it's like a more silver toned purple, so it doesn't really do a whole lot for me. So I'm gonna pass on this one. As far as the powder goes, I do feel like it gives a nice soft candlelit look to my complexion. I really like the powder. I will continue to use it. I don't think I like it just by itself, but definitely on top of my powder that I use to set, I do like the powder. And I really hope my review was helpful for anyone who was curious about these products. Let me know down in the comments section, and I will see you guys in my very next video. Smooches. Bye.